going for water. The well was dry beside the door, and so we went with pail and can across the fields behind the house to seek the brook, if still it ran. Not loth to have excuse to go, because the autumn eve was fair, though chill, because the fields were ours, and by the brook our woods were there. We ran as if to meet the moon, that slowly dawned behind the trees, the barren boughs, without the leaves, without the birds, without the breeze. But once within the wood we paused like gnomes that hid us from the moon, ready to run to hiding new, with laughter when she found us soon. Each laid on other a staying hand, to listen ere we dared to look, and in the hush we joined to make we heard, we knew we heard the brook. A note as from a single place, a slender tinkling fall that made now drops that floated on the pool like pearls, and now a silver blade. Revelation. We make ourselves a place apart, behind light words that tease and flout, but oh, the agitated heart, till someone really finds us out. 'Tis pity if the case require, or so we say, that in the end we speak the literal to inspire the understanding of a friend. But so with all, from babes that play at hide and seek to God afar, so all who hide too well away must speak and tell us where they are. The trial by existence. Even the bravest that are slain shall not dissemble their surprise on waking to find valor reign, even as on earth in paradise, and where they sought without the sword wide fields of asphodel forever, to find that the utmost reward of daring should be still to dare. The light of heaven falls whole and white, and is not shattered into dyes. The light forever is morning light, the hills are verdured pasture-wise. The angel hosts with freshness go, and seek with laughter what to brave, and binding all is the hushed snow of the far distant breaking wave. And from a cliff-top is proclaimed the gathering of the souls for birth, the trial by existence named, the obscuration upon earth, and the slant spirits trooping by in streams and cross and counter-streams can but give ear to that sweet cry for its suggestion of what dreams. And the more loitering are turned to view once more the sacrifice of those who, for some good discerned, will gladly give up paradise. And a white shimmering concourse rolls toward the throne to witness there the speeding of devoted souls, which God makes his especial care. And none are taken but who will, having first heard the life read out, that opens earthward good and ill, beyond the shadow of a doubt, and very beautifully God limns, and tenderly life's little dream, but not extenuates nor dims, setting the thing that is supreme. Nor is there wanting in the press some spirit to stand simply forth, heroic in its nakedness, against the uttermost of earth. The tale of earth's unhonored things sounds nobler there than 'neath the sun, and the mind whirls and the heart sings, and a shout greets the daring one. But always God speaks at the end, one thought in agony of strife the bravest would have by for friend, the memory that he chose the life, but the pure fate to which you go admits no memory of choice, or the woe were not earthly woe, to which you give the assenting voice. And so the choice must be again, but the last choice is still the same, and the awe passes wonder then, and a hush falls for all acclaim, and God has taken a flower of gold and broken it, and used therefrom the mystic link to bind and hold spirit to matter till death come. 'Tis of the essence of life here, though we choose greatly still to lack the lasting memory at all clear, that life has for us on the rack nothing but what we somehow chose. Thus are we wholly stripped of pride in the pain that has but one close, bearing it crushed and mystified. The tuft of flowers. I went to turn the grass once after one, who mowed it in the dew before the sun. The dew was gone that made his blade so keen before I came to view the levelled scene. I looked for him behind an aisle of trees, I listened for his whetstone on the breeze. But he had gone his way, the grass all mown, and I must be, as he had been, alone. As all must be, I said within my heart, whether they work together or apart. But as I said it, swift there passed me by, on noiseless wing, a bewildered butterfly, seeking with memories grown dim overnight, some resting flower of yesterday's delight. And once I marked his flight go round and round, as where some flower lay withering on the ground. And then he flew as far as I could see, and then on tremulous wing came back to me. I thought of questions that have no reply, and would have turned to toss the grass to dry. But he turned first, and led my eye to look at a tall tuft of flowers beside a brook. A leaping tongue of bloom the scythe had spared, beside a reedy brook the scythe had bared. The mower in the dew had loved them thus, by leaving them to flourish, not for us, nor yet to draw one thought of ours to him, but from sheer morning gladness at the brim. The butterfly and I had lit upon, nevertheless, a message from the dawn, that made me hear the wakening birds around, and hear his long scythe whispering to the ground, and feel a spirit kindred to my own, so that henceforth I worked no more alone, but glad with him. I worked as with his aid, and weary sought at noon with him the shade, and dreaming, as it were, held brotherly speech with one whose thought I had not hoped to reach. Men work together, I told him from the heart, whether they work together or apart. Pan with us. Pan came out of the woods one day. His skin and his hair and his eyes were gray. The gray of the moss of walls were they, and stood in the sun, and looked his fill at wooded valley and wooded hill. He stood in the zephyr, pipes in hand, on a height of naked pasture land. In all the country he did command. He saw no smoke, and he saw no roof. That was well, and he stamped a hoof. His heart knew peace, for none came here to this lean feeding, save once a year, someone to salt the half-wild steer, or homespun children with clicking pails, who see so little they tell no tales. He tossed his pipes, too hard to teach, a new world song, far out of reach, for a sylvan sign that the blue jays screech, and the whimper of hawks beside the sun were music enough for him, for one. Times were changed from what they were. Such pipes kept less of power to stir the fruited bough of the juniper, and the fragile bluets clustered there, than the merest aimless breath of air. They were pipes of pagan mirth, and the world had found new terms of worth. He laid him down on the sunburned earth, and ravelled a flower and looked away. Play? Play? What should he play? The Demiurge's laugh. It was far in the sameness of the wood. I was running with joy on the demon's trail, though I knew what I hunted was no true god. It was just as the light was beginning to fail that I suddenly heard all I needed to hear. It lasted me many and many a year. The sound was behind me instead of before, a sleepy sound, but mocking half, as of one who utterly couldn't care. The demon arose from his wallow to laugh, brushing the dirt from his eye as he went, and well I knew what the demon meant. I shall not forget how his laugh rang out. I felt as a fool to have been so caught, and checked my steps to make pretence. It was something among the leaves I sought, though doubtful whether he stayed to see. Thereafter I sat me against a tree. Now close the windows. Now close the windows and hush all the fields. If the trees must, let them silently toss. No bird is singing now, and if there is, be it my loss. It will be long ere the marshes resume. It will be long ere the earliest bird. So close the windows, and not hear the wind, but see all wind stirred. In hardwood groves. The same leaves over and over again, they fall from giving shade above, to make one mixture of faded brown, and fit the earth like a leather glove. Before the leaves can mount again, to fill the trees with another shade, they must go down past things coming up. They must go down into the dark decayed. They must be pierced by flowers and put beneath the feet of dancing flowers. However it is in some other world, I know that this is the way in ours. A Linestorm Song. The linestorm clouds fly tattered and swift. The road is forlorn all day, where a myriad snowy quartz stones lift, and the hoof-prints vanish away. The roadside flowers, too wet for the bee, expend their bloom in vain. Come over the hills and far with me, and be my love in the rain. The birds have less to say for themselves in the wood world's torn despair than now these numberless years the elves, although they are no less there. All song of the woods is crushed like some wild, easily shattered rose. Come, be my love in the wet woods. Come, where the boughs rain when it blows. There is the gale to urge behind, and bruit our singing down, and the shallow waters aflutter with wind, from which to gather your gown. What matter if we go clear to the west, and come not through dry shod? For wilding brooch shall wet your breast, the rain-fresh goldenrod. Oh, never this whelming east wind swells, but it seems like the sea's return to the ancient lands where it left the shells, before the age of the fern, and it seems like the time when, after doubt, our love came back amain. Oh, come forth into the storm and rout, and be my love in the rain. October. O hushed October, morning mild, thy leaves have ripened to the fall. Tomorrow's wind, if it be wild, should waste them all. The crows above the forest call, tomorrow they may form and go. O hushed October, morning mild, begin the hours of this day slow. Make the day seem to us less brief. Hearts not averse to being beguiled, beguile us in the way you know. Release one leaf at break of day, at noon release another leaf. One from our trees, one far away. Retard the sun with gentle mist, enchant the land with amethyst. Slow, slow, for the grape's sake, if they were all, whose leaves already are burnt with frost, whose clustered fruit must else be lost, for the grape's sake along the wall.